how we protect owners from the wrong tenant. The wrong tenant is usually a result of improper screening. Our screening process is multi-level. Initially, we have a vacancy, we put it up on Zillow, we put it up on the internet, and we'll start getting inquiries. Hey, I want to look at this property. I'm interested in this property. Before we get in the car and go show that property, we do what's called a pre-screening. We ask them 3 things. What is your income? What is your credit score? And do you have a criminal background history? Those are the 3 things. If they answer correctly to those, it's basically honor system. They have to just tell us, yeah, my credit is this, I make this much, and no, I don't have a background. And if they pass that initial interrogation, sniff test, then we'll show them the property. We don't actually verify it until later. We'll show them the property. If they want to continue, then they have to submit an application. The application will actually run a background check, it'll actually run a credit check, and then they have to show us proof of income by sending us pay stubs or a bank statement or anything that shows what their income is. The sniff test is to weed out people, because if you showed the property to every single person that inquired, then you'd be wasting so much time showing properties that you'd burn out. So we want to kind of weed out the people who will tell me, hey, I only make this much money, or hey, I only make this, right? And that kind of allows you to not waste so much time showing properties and only spend quality time showing the units of quality. And those people who are not qualified are going to be the flakes anyways. They're going to be the ones that set a showing and then they don't show up, and then you've driven all the way to the property and nobody's there. They're going to be the ones that are going to be the problems up front. So we like to kind of weed those out initially, just for efficiency purposes, really. Once they submit the application, then we actually verify all those things. The credit report and the background check, not everybody's perfect. And in fact, most people who are renting, a lot of them have issues with credit and stuff. So we have to be a little bit flexible in our screening process. We look at the credit report more of an art form than it is a science. It's not as black and white. We say 650 minimum credit score, but we do have tenants that have lower credit scores. And what we'll do is we'll look at the credit check or the credit report from the credit bureaus, and we look for certain things that are red flags. Certain red flags: unpaid utility bill. If you're not going to pay your electricity, you're not going to pay your rent. Unpaid child support. That's a big one. You're not going to take care of your kid, you're not going to be paying your rent. Cell phone bills unpaid, that's another kind of like utilities. But if I see student loans, for example, I don't really take those into consideration. Student loans will drive down your credit score, but they're not necessarily a red flag for somebody who's going to be being able to pay or not. Medical bills, I don't even care. I don't even look at them. You have medical collections, I don't consider them at all. So those are all things that would drive down your credit that don't necessarily mean that you're not going to be able to pay your rent. So we got to be able to read the credit report in a way that is strategic and smart. Same with the background check. We have people who have like drug charges from 1992 for having an ounce of weed in their pocket. Now marijuana is legal, so how do you reconcile that? So you look at the background check also in a strategic way to understand whether or not this person is going to be a dangerous person or they're just a normal person. If you don't go through that process, then you could find yourself with a person who just lied and doesn't actually make the money that they say they make, or has terrible credit, or has this terrible background that you never found out about or never cared to check. If you do those things correctly, 99% of the time you'll be fine. Every so often a bad applicant gets through. That's perfectly normal. Or a person who was a good applicant now later becomes not a good applicant because they either lose their job or they go through a divorce, or things happen.